Hello, this is Veterans News, a production of the United Veterans Organization of Nassau County. My name is Ed Allman. I want to thank Erica Bradley of North Shore TV for the use of her studio facilities here in Lake Success, and Mike Peters for his technical support for providing the training for our crew. The show is broadcast on public access television. I'd like to say hello to our viewers in both Nassau and Suffolk County. I'd also like to thank Sabrina Lacey, former commander and current chaplain of the Suffolk County, or I should say District 11 now, VFW, for being our co-host. Welcome, Sabrina.
Thank you, Ed.
I'd like to thank our crew. On camera 1, Jim Quirk. On camera 2, Mike Ferraro. Our assistant director is Jean Schurer, and graphics director is Loretta DeBrino. Also, the graphics director is Beverly Allman, assistant producer Eric Spinner, and assistant director is Jean Schurer, and our director is Robert Lane. By the way, all the crew are senior citizens. They never get enough credit for the work that they do. By the way, if you would like to ask me a question or make a comment about the show, please go to mardiv1@optimum.net. Our guests today are Bill Hughes and Eric D'Arcy. Okay. We'll talk to our guest in a few minutes, but first let us remember some of the veterans who died recently. Robert McMillan ran for the Senate in 1988, and he served in the Army as a first lieutenant in Korea, where he won a Bronze Star. Robert Cox was a high school coach from Brightwaters, and he served in the U.S. Army. Joseph DeCola was a 99-year-old veteran of World War II. He fought during the Battle of Britain, Normandy, and the Battle of the Bulge. He was from Lake Grove. Mike Roach was a first lieutenant in the U.S. Marine Corps from Carl Place and was married in his dress uniforms at Camp Lejeune. Joseph Ferrara served at White Sands Missile Proving Ground in New Mexico with the U.S. Army. Hadley Sobin was a Syosset and Riverhead resident. He was an athlete and in his senior year, and he was a Navy veteran. Edward Stone of Lynbrook was an Army supply specialist from 1960 to 62. He later attended St. John's University. James Santol of Port Washington and Lindenhurst served as a combat medic during the Korean War and was for 61 years a resident of Lindenhurst and with the fire department. If you know a veteran who died recently and you would like their name mentioned here, please email me at mardiv1@optimum.net. That's all the veterans news I have. Now, welcome to our guests. Eric, welcome aboard. And what's your name? Bill Hughes. Okay, and that's Eric and Darcy over there. Gentlemen, you're both top leaders of the VFW in Suffolk County.
Yes.
Okay. Bill, what is your job in the VFW?
I'm a post commander out in West Hampton Beach, have been for many years. I've been in the VFW for over 40 years now, but currently I'm the senior vice commander of District 11 VFW, which is all of Suffolk County.
Okay. Eric, how about you?
I'm post 2913 junior vice commander, which is located in Patchogue. Then I'm also the District 11 legislative, as well as sitting on the committee for the SVA VFW Legislative Fellowship.
Okay. Bill, weren't you the commander of the Suffolk County VFW once upon a time?
Yes, I was.
Okay. The VFW changed its name. It's not the Suffolk County VFW anymore. It's called District 11?
Well, there are 11 districts in New York State. There were formerly 9, but Nassau County became District 10, and Suffolk County became District 11. So we have 11 districts throughout New York State. There are no more any county councils. They're all district.
Why did they do that?
I think it was kind of redundant to have for a lot of reasons, to have a county council that would then answer to a district, that
Right.
would then answer to the Department of New York. So it more or less streamlined it, I think.
Okay. Eric, tell me about your military background.
So I served in the United States Marine Corps from 2007 to 2011 on active duty. I was Ground Mobile Forces Communications Operator. I did deploy
What was that?
Ground Mobile Forces Communications Operator.
What is that?
So that entails satellite, radio, transmissions, data, and wire communication systems.
What does somebody in the Marine Corps need all that information for?
So we're the individuals that set up communication systems without anyone really knowing that we're there. And then we allow for communications to be sent from forward deployed areas back stateside, as well as to other commands within the territory, or within the region.
You can send a message from an outpost in a bad guy area to somewhere in the States?
Yes, sir. Yes. We set up the communication systems. Our unit was actually acknowledged with the Lieutenant Colonel Shea Award for Communications Unit of the Year while I was on active duty. And that was for our services forward deployed in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Okay, you were in Iraq
Yes, sir.
and Afghanistan?
I did not serve foot on ground in Afghanistan. I helped with operations in Afghanistan.
Okay. How long were you there?
I was in Iraq for 8 months.
Did you get hurt?
I was not injured while I was overseas.
Good, good. Bill, how about you? Oh, you've got lots of things to tell me about. Go ahead.
I was a pararescueman. I'm very proud of the work I was able to do.
Para-rescue man?
Yes.
What is a para-rescue man?
Yeah, also known as a PJ. I trained for a long time and went straight over to Vietnam. And our job there, we flew on helicopters and mostly Jolly Green Giants, and was to rescue mostly pilots who were shot down, but sometimes there were others, generally in the North Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia.
Jolly Green Giant, was that a CH-46?
No, it wasn't. They were HH-3s and HH-53s. I flew on HH-53s.
Was that a bigger bird than the 46? Or faster or something?
A different style,
Okay.
a totally different style. It could carry, it was a heavy lift helicopter, it still is.
Right.
So
Were you in the Army or the Air Force?
I was in the Air Force.
Okay. And how long were you were in Vietnam?
Yes, I was, yeah.
How long?
1 year,
Okay. What year was that?
71 and 72.
Okay. Did you told me earlier that your combat operations were basically north of Hanoi?
In the vicinity of most of it was, north of the DMZ. Some stuff was
North
south,
of the DMZ.
but because most often the pilots were interdicting targets in North Vietnam along the Ho Chi Minh Trail.
Right.
That's where they would be shot down, and other places too. But there was a lot of business that way.
Very good. What did you do after the service?
When I got out, I ended up becoming a member of the New York Air National Guard, the rescue unit. I was actually one of the founding members of the 106th, which has a very large team there, and they do fabulous work. I was glad I was able to help start the foundation of that, great team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just recently found the 106. I was driving out in Suffolk County. I don't know if I got lost or what, but all of a sudden I saw these huge airplanes, and I saw the sign. Very good. How long were you in the reserve on the 106th?
I retired. I ended up retiring, so I was there for another 16, 17 years.
16 or 17 years.
After my active duty service.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you do as a citizen, as a private citizen?
I was in law enforcement, and I'm a retired lieutenant from the Southampton Town Police.
Very good. Very good. I'll have to watch myself.
So Bill has done a lot of stuff in his career. as the age where he is, and I'm so proud of you. I'm honored to be sitting here with you again, Bill. The 106 Air Wing is very important, significant to me, because when I served in the military, that's where we got our in-processing. Sometimes we got our not fingerprints, but our pictures, our ID cards. I took my family out there years ago to get my ID card and stuff like that. But I'm honored because of what you have done to bring your post closer to those guys and their families. And they have the Family Readiness Program over there at the 106 that's doing a lot of good things for the guys out there. But a lot of people don't know that the 106 Air Wing is out in Southampton. And that's what I want to bring to the forefront. All right, our guys are still on active duty and doing their thing and looking out for our welfare out on the island. So I commend you for all the things that you do. Also your wife. And
What about his wife?
his wife, how long you been married now? About?
Over 40 years.
Over 40 years. Over 40 years, and all the stuff that he have done and taken out the time and continue to do and going forward and doing more stuff. And I'm quite sure in the future you're going to do marvelous things for the veterans as they return home from their deployment. Thank you. And sitting here and mentoring this one that's here now, that's coming through.
You know, I'm looking at Eric and I'm thinking, he looks a lot younger than our usual guests. Our usual guests are all 70 and above. You don't look 70 years old.
No.
How
sir.
old are you?
I am 35.
35.
Yes.
Can you tell me about getting out of the service and what did you do after you got out?
So immediately getting out of the service, I went to Suffolk County Community College, where I received my associate's degree with a focus on criminal justice. I used my post 9/11 benefits for that as well, so I didn't have to pay for school. And I was afforded the opportunity to receive BAH, or a basic allowance for housing, while I was in school. So it also afforded me the opportunity to really focus 100% on the school curriculum or the course curriculum without having to worry about a job to maintain bills. After that, I am engaged. So I've reconnected with an old high school girlfriend. So we do have 3 children. Just took a hold of the family life, being a father.
And I
now
see you have on your hat, it says,
Best
best dad ever.
My youngest daughter gave me that. My children are very involved with military and veteran affairs. They're very involved with the post, ceremonies. They actually lead the Pledge of Allegiance in certain ceremonies. So I like to just, incorporate what I've been through and what some members of my family have been through, so that way they understand the history and it doesn't repeat itself, and they could advocate for us as well when I get to the point that I'm 70 and 80 years old and can no longer do it.
I heard you say something about your dress blues.
Yes.
You still wear your dress blues?
So for the past year, I was the president at St. Joseph's University for the Student Veterans of America Club. And during that time, I got involved with the VFW heavily, and the SAR organization, so it's Veteran Suicide Awareness and Remembrance. It's a flag family organization. I've been involved with certain ceremonies where it's required that I put on my dress blues, or I've been asked to put on my dress blues, so staying in accordance with the guidelines of the uniform. I shave off the beard.
Okay.
Normally it's a lot
Good.
larger than this, but this is about a week and a half of not shaving.
Week and a half.
Yeah.
This mustache I have is already a month old, and it doesn't look like it.
And I just
Okay.
want to bring this to attention, your age that you are, because we're trying to recruit more younger veterans, older veterans as well, right? But now the VFW, the American Legions, all the organizations are now recruiting new veterans into the system. What made you come aboard and take on all those leadership roles and obtain your family and you're going to school? And what can we tell those veterans out there to come join us?
So I believe the biggest opportunity for me was being involved with Student Veterans of America and having the VFW district commander actually at the university. He expressed interest in all of the individuals that were there and offered us opportunities to come down, join the post, or join the auxiliary. I think my understanding of the VFW wasn't quite clear when I first got out of the military, and thinking that it was just a hangout place, to gain camaraderie amongst military service members. but when really understanding that these are the individuals or these are the organizations that actually push for the legislation and advocate for the veterans. And who knows better than, of what we need better than us kind of deal. So I jumped in with Commander Molitor. He's also a Marine Corps gunny, so we kind of connected, we clicked. And he knew what I was, what my mission was to advocate for veterans and to prevent the suicides, to advocate for mental health resources. And he gave me the opportunities. And while I was down at the Capitol in Washington, D.C., our executive director of the VFW, he explained to me when someone puts out a hand and offers you something, you grab a hold of that hand and take the opportunity. I took that advice to heart, and when the commander reached out his hand and gave me an opportunity, I went and jumped at it. I think right now we talk about opportunities with the VFW. One of the biggest opportunities is always recruiting, bringing in that younger generation. We've had a war for the past 20 years in Iraq and Afghanistan, so we look at those individuals to continue this legacy of fighting for legislation for veterans and advocacy for veterans. And I believe the prime place to be in right now is also the colleges and the universities, because we have the education benefits, because we have Student Veterans of America and these organizations and clubs and chapters, not just in New York, but in all of the states nationwide. We have the capability to be, as VFW members, to be able to go into these locations and recruit and explain what we're doing for them. And it's also can be utilized as a tool on your resume building, career building. I come in here, I advocate, I legislate for veterans within my post, within my district, and within New York State. And by doing just that, I receive the education and the resources that are needed for me to continue to do that going forward.
All right. Bill, I know you told me you were the past commander of the Suffolk County VFW, but you really got me going because you said you were commander of your local chapter with 400 members. And
right.
you do a lot of stuff with that. Can you talk about that for a few minutes?
Well, yes, we do, and so does the district. Recently, recently we had an event where several VFW members, the Patchogue Post, my post, where we crossed the Long Island Sound to bring awareness to the problems with suicide in the veteran community, 22 a day taking their lives. So we had 24 veterans and veteran supporters cross the Long Island Sound from Bridgeport, Connecticut to Port Jeff on September 1st. So it wasn't easy. The gentleman I did it with was a VFW member, a member of my post, who's 24 years old. So as Eric said, we are very diverse as far as age, gender,
right.
race, etc. So it was nice to have some young muscle along
Sure.
with me crossing the Sound.
In your kayak, that's a one-person boat?
Two of us, so there
Okay.
was 12 kayaks that crossed
Okay.
the Sound on that day. Yeah.
So if you're not paddling, he's paddling.
Well, it was actually a foot pump.
Oh, well, really?
Yes, but there are other great things that are going on, and I'd like to mention we have a Warriors Rock concert coming up on November 10th. It's going to be a big, big event at the West Hampton Performing Arts where we're honoring veterans and first responders.
When is that again?
On the Marine Corps birthday, November 10th, so I'm sure you'll remember
Very
that,
good.
Ed and
Sure.
Eric. So we have a lot of great stuff
good.
going on. And we're very engaged in some of the core programs that, when people ask me the short answer, I say we take care of the military, we take care of veterans, and we take care of the youth in our community. That's what we do.
And in addition to the youth, how many times have your youth won the scholarship money for the
Well, we
organizations that we are?
We have a very active Patriots Pen and Voice of Democracy program. Last year, or the year before, Suffolk County, we send those winners from the post level to the district to the state.
Can you tell me first what Patriots Pen is about?
It's an essay. The Patriots Pen is an essay competition for middle school children, and Voice of Democracy is an essay and oratorical competition for high school students. So it starts
Okay.
at the post level, goes to the district, the state, and then it goes worldwide. The winner in Suffolk County was from Sachem High School, and she won worldwide.
Really?
And by winning that, I mean, it's not only
She went from Sachem High School to,
winning the
winning-
whole. There are other
Scholarship
there are
funding
other
for her to go to
scholarships,
college.
but
Wow.
she won $35,000.
$35,000.
Yeah. So these programs are they're great programs
Yeah.
for students. We honor firefighters. We honor EMTs. We honor school teachers. So
When you honor EMTs and firefighters, do you honor policemen as well?
yes, we do.
How do you honor them? You bring them into the meeting and,
No, there's application that's made, and the applications are gone through, and they're forwarded just the way the others are through the system, and then a committee, selects who would rise to the top as far as the applicants go. Yeah.
and what do you treat them to when they rise to the top? What are they rising to the top of?
Well, the recognition of in the community. Of
They're getting
being-
recognition in the community.
And it looks good on their resume as well. And then they have a reference. So if they want to go to a college or a university, one of the committees that I was sitting on is West Point. They have a committee when they choose people to go to West Point. So they come reach out to us and they ask us, can you sit on this committee? Now, if you did something in the VFW or the American Legions or any other organizations, those things are pivot to where you want to go in the future. And then you could start grooming that young student to go to that higher level. So that's the thing to obtain. And also learning how to speak in front of a forum of maybe, 100 of us? They come and do their essay and they speak in front of us and they present their essay to us and we listen to the essay and then afterwards we commingle with them and then they learn our history and we learn their history and where they want to go.
Okay.
Leadership skills.
Excuse me?
Leadership skills.
Leadership skills.
Yeah, they get up, they have to present, so it's a form of public communications. The literacy of actually writing an essay that's detailed in regards to veteran life or service member life or what the premise is of that year. But then also being able to network with different generations of war veterans. You get, you get knowledge from that.
And you also develop character.
Yes.
Character, disposition, and learning how to be a human being for the United States of America. And then we could provide some good leadership going forward to represent our country. So that's what it's all about too.
Okay. Is there anything else that that you talked to me about before the show started, and I can't remember a damn thing of what you said?
I'd like to maybe highlight some of the great rescue work that's
Good.
done at the 106 Rescue Wing. It took a while to lay that foundation, but they're deployed constantly to areas that are hot. And so they're doing a lot of great work. There's also a tertiary mission that some people may not be aware of. It's not only the Coast Guard that takes people, injured seamen and whatnot, off of vessels out in the North Atlantic. The rescue unit does that as a secondary or
Really?
tertiary mission. So although the primary mission is combat rescue, there are secondary missions
Right.
that take place. And
You said that you started something with the 106, or you were
well, I
a
was the
founding
first.
father?
I was the first pararescueman that was there. It's a government operation. I didn't personally, but I was the first pararescueman on station there. So.
Okay. How about you, Eric? Any closing remarks?
I would just, my closing remarks would be addressing any veteran that's looking to become a student. There's multiple resources within New York State, multiple colleges and universities that participate in all of the benefits that we're afforded to, as well as additional benefits such as the Yellow Ribbon Program.
What's the Yellow Ribbon Program?
So for service-connected disabled veterans, there's certain colleges and universities within New York State that will actually match tuition that is paid for by the VA. for the service-connected disabilities. There is a cap to it. I believe mine was, if I'm not mistaken, it was $1,500, but the VA paid $1,500 as part of my tuition expenses, and then the university matched that with an additional $1,500. So in total, I've received an extra $3,000 worth of tuition expenses for being service-connected disabled. We have plenty of resources with real estate and property taxes. If you're a veteran in Suffolk County, automatically file for a property tax exemption. You receive 25% off.
25% off of what?
Property taxes.
25%.
Yes. Yep.
Is that for a combat wounded vet?
No, that is just veteran. As long as you discharge under honorable conditions, you receive a 25% exemption on property taxes.
Nassau County should hear about that.
Yes.
We get 10%.
They're currently working on something because there is also legislation that was passed for service-connected disabled veterans that gives you an additional 25%. I currently actually receive that exemption, so I receive a 50% exemption, but New York State caps it at 25%. So even though there's legislation that gives us an additional exemption, we actually don't receive it. So it's something that we're currently looking at with different attorneys, real estate agents, or real estate attorneys, different legislators or dignitaries that would have the capability to change some positions on that. And then also, if you're currently a veteran in Suffolk County and you're looking for a place of camaraderie, a place to connect with like-minded individuals, feel free to find a post in your area. And then I believe that would be it for me.
And then one other thing I want to say before we leave, we need you to come and join our organizations to keep our organizations going. Although you're receiving benefits, we need to increase those benefits as we go forward because everything is increasing in our communities. You know, the electricity, the gas, we need more funds for these veterans because when they go on active duty and they work in, a lot of reservists are losing a lot of money because they're going on active duty and they're not receiving the money that they would receive from work because a lot of them work 1 or 2 jobs or they do overtime. So we need to increase that. We need to have the veterans come and join the Veterans of Foreign War organizations and posts.
Okay, that's it. That's it for Veterans News. Can I get the crew to come up here, put your cameras on stationary, and come on up? I'd like you to meet Jim Quirk. I hope Jim is out there still. Come up right up here. Jim, get behind me. And we have Robert Lane, who's probably not coming out. Loretta Debrino, who's probably not up. Here she comes. Bob Guarneri, where are you? Okay. Gene Shura. Gene is probably not coming out. Mike Ferraro, there you go, Mike. And Bev Allman, who's probably not coming out either. Say hello to everybody. Thank you very much. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're off. Thank you.
Wasn't too bad, was it? Did I throw you under the bus?